Hey, it's Alexis here from Smart Sips, and this is video 3 out of I don't know how many, but it's my journey on how I am trying to career pivot from being a teacher, thinking about all my transferable skills, working part-time, having children, and obviously losing a bit of confidence in terms of what I feel I can offer a job role. So my idea at the moment is looking at project management or learning and development roles. Now, it might come to light that I go in a completely different direction, but for now, these are the types of roles that I'm going to start looking and investigating in. The first video, we talked about a career identity statement, so go back and listen to that video, and it really helps you reframe what you are like as a person, what skills you have, and your kind of style in terms of how you work in a team or leadership style, depending on the different roles, volunteering or activities that you've done. Once you've got that career identity statement, and obviously using AI to help you build that, we then moved on to looking at your CV in video 2, but also how to download your LinkedIn as a PDF. Obviously, LinkedIn for me, I've been a teacher for 15 years. I hadn't really updated it. It was very rusty. So I needed to think about, how do I sell myself on this platform? Because obviously, if you've not got it as a private document, then people are going to Google search your name. It's going to showcase your skills and your transferable skills and your kind of jobs that you've had previously. So video 2 talked about how did you download your PDF, and also some of the prompts that you might need to use in terms of getting ahead of getting your CV and your LinkedIn profile ready for the job roles that you might intend on having a go at. This video, we're going to be talking about getting some resources together in order to get you prepared. Now, whenever you're trying to do a career pivot, it's never really easy. You do need to do a bit of legwork, which I'm finding out very quickly. I thought it'd be just super simple. I would just translate some of the stuff that I've done in my teaching career, and people will be knocking on my door to come and give me a job. However, that hasn't been the case. I've applied for a couple of roles, obviously been knocked back, and I've realised that I was not prepared for the rigorous part of the job search because I just hadn't sorted it out. So I have recently done just a quick online course in terms of using AI to generate job searching opportunities, and a couple of key takeaways from that I just wanted to share with you and see if it might be beneficial for you. Obviously, you do need to carve out some time, which can be very tricky if you've got a very busy life and you're already working full time and you've got children and you've got other commitments. You will need to carve out a little bit of time just to kind of reframe where you're at, what skills you have, and do a little bit of work on yourself in terms of getting yourself ready. So in this video, just wanted to show you 2 things that I found really useful. And again, when you get onto looking at the structures of these, we've got AI that we can lean on in order to generate some of that information. But the main thing is having to think about your skills, and then also how you're going to start tracking what types of jobs you're going to apply for. So the first task is looking at the STAR method. And again, you all know these types of questions where they ask you, say something you've been really proud of. Maybe it might be conflict management or something that you struggled with that you had to overcome. And you're having to think on the fly a little bit about some examples of where this might happen. So what I'm going to suggest is, if you pick out 3 to 4 examples for this and think about whether it had been a conflict or something that you're proud about, something that you've managed to achieve, some sort of issue that you've overcome. So try and categorize 1 or 2 for each of these types of scenarios. And you're going to have to reflect back on all of your jobs and think about some of those times where you've overcome something. And it might take you a little bit of time to think about those. Now, the STAR method is showing you what different parts you can then discuss. So it's the situation, what was the problem, what issue did you have? Then it's tasks, so what actionables did you actually put in place, what did you do? Actions, and then your results. So on the screen I can show you here the STAR method. So again, you can just jot it down on a pad, or you can start to generate it in a Word document just to get you used to framing what you've done in those 4 different ways, so that you can be ready for those interview questions. And these types of things, you're just going to have to rote learn them, so that when somebody asks you a question, you've already got some answers that you can start with. And again, it's going to be all about practicing. These will come a little bit later on, so a little bit later in my journey, when I'm starting to prepare for interviews that might come my way. I'm going to have to use AI to almost mimic being the interviewer, so that I can then start to talk backwards and forwards and to practice, so that I get really confident and I don't feel really nervous before the interview, which will happen. But obviously, if you're well prepared, you're going to feel a lot calmer and more confident when you go to the interview. Now, the other thing is, obviously, I love a bit of organisation and trackers. And so I've found that another tool that they recommended was to have a job search tracker. So using Google Sheets, I'm going to set up a job tracker and I'm going to see how it goes. So I just wanted to show these 2 different skills in terms of that, but also thinking about using AI prompts in order to help you. So again, on the cheat sheet that I've provided in the links, there are lots of different activities that you can have a go at to get you job ready, but also some actionable tasks to try and get you ready and prepared, and thinking about actually what have you got to offer, because we all have lots and lots of things that we can offer a new profession or a job role, and it's about selling yourself and being confident that you provide evidence of all these things.